All right. Welcome to the crown of the Oathbreaker. It's always very exciting to start a new campaign, and it's always very interesting to see these squishy level 1 characters that can be insta-killed by a critical hit by a goblin. But yes, this campaign will take us all the way through to level 15, 16. And then there's another book after that, which you can either switch at the end of this campaign. The campaigns have a loose connection between the two of them. So you can either continue with Balson, Hector, and so on, or you can just roll up a new 16th level character. But regardless, this will get us all the way to level 20. And this campaign is massive. I'll just say that. Both massive in scope. It's... I've taken one group round to about session 38, and we're not even close to finishing. So this is going to go for at least a year, and maybe more, but it is a fantastically awesome campaign. I love this. It's so cool. And I feel obliged to give this warning. It is a very dark campaign, so expect bad things to happen. It's got a real dark fantasy. Think like if you ever played Curse of Strahd. Think of that type of darkness. Yeah, so dark. And we're starting out at level 1, which will take us... The first series of adventures I have planned are to get you familiar with the kingdom of Eglarion and the city of Oathbreaker. So the stakes for the first 5 or so levels, which go by pretty quickly, aren't that high. But you'll pick up the story beat when something goes bad, because something bad will happen. Other than that, not much else to say. Does anybody have any questions before we start? To make your name smaller at the bottom, click on the cog wheel at the top right. Click on personalization. Oh no, click on audio and video. Then go to video and set the player video to names only. I'll just list them at the bottom.
There we go.
Yeah,
I was looking around for it, but that's perfect. Thank you. I can now see myself. Oh, we're on a dice tray.
I never noticed there was a dice tray, but yes.
Yeah, Matt. Yeah, sorry.
So before I launch into my prologue, does anybody have any questions? Anything at all?
Not a question, but just when you're talking about this as a dark campaign, there's only one thing that I really can't deal with, and that's anything kind of in the realm of sexual assault or anything like that. So I wouldn't imagine that it'd be in there, but just if I don't say it, then I haven't said it. You know?
Yeah, of course. I actually put this in my code of conduct. There will be no dark themes in terms of like sexual violence, torture, or anything along those lines. So there'll be none of those dark aspects. And if they were, I would remove them from the game because they're not good. And,
thank you.
Yeah, so that they won't be there. They're, if you wish to interrogate somebody, we're just going to make it a simple dice roll, like an intimidation roll. Because, as I said, that I consider torture to be a dark part of it. And having had some friends in Uganda who have gone through such an experience, just know. So feel free to interrogate people, but it's just going to come down to a purely flat roll. And you get the information you get, and that's it. So,
in a world where you have to take thoughts, not really fair.
Yep, you do get a save though for detect thoughts. You get the surface thoughts, but then deeper thoughts. But anyway, we won't be going down those pathways. Anything else anybody wants to bring up, or any questions?
I think Vinny asked this last time, but would you prefer us to play it relatively straight, or in terms of it being a darker campaign?
I guess my answer would be it's the game you guys want it to be.
Okay.
So if you want to take it a little lightheartedly, then that would be fine. I had a group who were really leaning into the dark things that happen, and they're quite enjoying that. So I guess we'll just see what happens, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to drag you across to the map of Aglarion. And just before I really start into my blurb, this is the main city over here, Oathbreaker. That's where we'll be doing most of the initial parts of the adventure. But as I've mentioned to all of you, we're doing little mini sessions for each and every one of you, with some links between Pastor Timothy and Hector. All right. So, without much further ado, to understand the present of Aglarion and the wider lands, we must begin in the past. The land known today as the Kingdom of Aglarion has a rich history spanning thousands of years, influenced by cataclysmic events that involved multiple planes of existence. Since the dawn of time in prehistory, all the way up to its current state as a monarchy, the land and its rulership has changed many times. Several key events have shaped the past, namely the descent of the Dark Star and its dark angels during the mountain fall, where the moon itself blocked the sun and the land was ruled in darkness, and the dark angels were horrible oppressors. But then Seraph of the Shining Light managed to shatter the moon, and even today if you look up into the sky of Aglarion, you'll see the moon is in many pieces. She literally shattered the moon, and that drove away the dark angels. That in turn eventually led to a cruel theocracy, with all religions apart from Seraph banned. But eventually the theocracy was flown over, and the establishment of the Kingdom of Aglarion. These events have all left deep marks on the history of the realm, and the legacies of these dark times can still be felt in the fabric of society. The good news is the kingdom is known as a thriving realm. Times of plenty and an open-minded philosophy has resulted in a level of tolerance for beings of all types, really encountered in other places. The kingdom is rich, its army strong, and it's well equipped. Its army strong and well equipped, and the rule of law is paramount under a popular king. But even in these tranquil times, the kingdom of Aglarion is filled with adventure and dangers that lurk behind the veil of peace, reaching into other planes and deep into history. But first, we're going to rewind the clock a little bit. And we're going to start with Torque. So, Torque, why don't you just give us a description of what Torque looks like?
Okay. So Torque is a dark-skinned tiefling. The first thing you would notice for a tiefling is that his horns on his head are both jagged and broken off. For that, he walks with a pronounced sort of limp and seems to favour one side more than the other as he moves, sort of shuffling along. He seems to you to be slightly middle-aged, so there are worn lines on his face, and he seems troubled and angry. There is a degree of anger, a snarl across his face. So if you were to look at him, you would see him shuffling along the street with a cane to try and a walking stick to try and allow him to move more freely.
We're going to be rewinding the clock on Torque about 16, 17 years before he had the limp, before he had the scar on his face. So we're starting back in the past. This is the royal family that Torque has known for most of it. There is a popular king, Waldron Azanar on the left there. Queen Alyssa, the Queen, and his son, Prince Krasner. Now, just recently, the Queen there that you see perished. No great mystery about it. There was no demons. There was no plot to kill her. She was popular by all means, and she just got sick and died. So that was unfortunate. The Queen quickly remarried to someone who was perhaps no more than a servant girl, and within a year he married the new Queen, Queen Laurentia. And they just had a baby daughter called Princess Athena. Now, your immediate commander in these times is a dwarven gentleman called Lord Signmonder. Now, Lord Signmonder is a dwarf. He's highly respected. He's responsible for keeping the royal family safe and keeping everybody on their toes. Torque is considered a valuable ally of Lord Signmonder. And Lord Signmonder summons you to somewhere in the royal palace and says, "Torque, lad, I got a bit of a job for you to do."
My lord, how may I be of service?
As you know, discipline, regiment, honour are the things that keep this kingdom thriving and the royal family safe. We cannot simply stand any of those under our command to get drunk on the job. I'm sure they'd agree with me, Torque, that is unacceptable.
It is neither efficient or wise to have drunk soldiers. So I fully agree with you, my lord.
Currently, they're sleeping it off in the barracks. I need you to do some shouting at them, get them into line. I know this is the type of thing you specialise in, Torque. Can I leave this to you?
My lord, trust that those gentlemen will wish themselves to be as sober as the day is long.
So this all happens in the royal palace, and there is a place for soldiers to rest and sleep who are required to be on duty and protect the royal family. And everybody should be on extra high alert because the Queen died. As I said, it wasn't an assassination, it wasn't anything. And the new Queen's installed, so shall we say extra care has been taken. So this is extra unacceptable. So I assume, Torque, you head over to the barracks and you see 3 men snoring it off, just in a deep sleep. I guess you can tell someone's drunk just by looking at them. They're kind of half in their bed, half arm is off, half the arm is on. Some of them's actually sleeping on the floor. They've missed the bed. So Hector, what do you do? Oh, sorry, not Hector. Torque.
Torque. So it would be the case that a loud, booming voice sings out, "What are you horrible lot doing? On your feet, men! I want you on this yard, standing at attention!" And then there's a loud, booming, thunderous roar.
The 3 drunken men do their best to stand up. They're obviously still very much into the influences. They're not in their royal armour. Some of them half in, some of them half out. But they stand up. "Oh, sir! Oh, yes, sir! We're just sleeping, sir! It's all good!" And one of them is quite obviously peed himself, so... yeah.
To arms, gentlemen, to arms. I wish to inspect your arms and check that you are ready. And I will start the eyeballing process.
It's a very, very important roll you have to make. It's the first roll of the campaign. I want you to roll an intimidation check, but as at advantage. So no pressure.
Boom!
Did you roll? I don't see the roll.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I did roll. It was a 19 and a 20. Which
Oh,
came back as a 25. So
wow.
I think the one that had peed himself may also have to change his undergarments.
Yeah. I did this in a campaign many years ago. I did the same thing advantage. The guy rolled 2 natural ones to start the campaign. So this is much better. Okay, so the 3 knights of the crown, that they scramble around to get ready. They're very panicky. They manage to get their armor on and manage to stand somewhat at attention. And they look terrible. You notice some of them are not quite wearing their armor in the way that they're supposed to, but they think it's good enough.
Unacceptable, gentlemen. Unacceptable. I will. That little courtyard, no doubt, outside the barracks there. I'm going to get them to carry their weapons above their heads, and we are going to do 4 laps of the courtyard to get them awake and alive.
Sir, yes, sir. And they do the classic sword, and these are decently heavy swords, and they're struggling and they're running and they're panting. Occasionally, one of them trips over. What do you do, Torque?
I'm going to lean over him and tell him, "Get on your feet, soldier! Up and at them!" And
Sir.
then I'm going to run with them.
Like classic drill sergeant type of deal, right?
I think that is the vibe I'm giving. Yes.
Okay, so they stumble. As I said, they're still under the influence, and they're carrying their swords, and they do 4 laps with you barking orders in the air, and they all right, sir. Should we report to our stations now, sir?
On your way, double time.
Sir, yes, sir. And they dash away to the various points of stations. But then one of them comes to really report back and says, "Sir, permission to speak, sir."
Out with it.
Lord Signmondo wishes an audience with you. He says it's of some great importance, sir.
All right. Well, I'm going to double time it to see Signmondo.
Okay, so you rush back to the royal palace, and the place is in an uproar. The king, I lost my king. King Waldron is saying, "Everybody, get together! Queen Laurentia has been kidnapped. It's by some foul play. We've got to put together a rescue mission as soon as possible. Signmondo, goes without saying that this has happened under your watch. The queen has been kidnapped. Gather your men. You, Pork, you're coming along as well." And he shouts at a couple of other people as well. We might need medical healing, so we're bringing along summon Father Lester as quick as you can. And Master Eden, the Archmage of the city, summon him as well. So this party is put together along with Prince Kresna to go and rescue the Queen. Is there any preparations, anything you wish to do before you go attempt to rescue the Queen, Torque?
No, I would imagine I'm fully equipped and ready and willing.
Okay, so Lord Signmondo, the King, the Prince, the Cleric Father Lester, and the Archmage, Master Eden, all gallop on horses and just dash off west. West? Yes, west. And Father Lester is using various magics to try and trace where she's going. And eventually, after 4 or 5 days of travel, you come to a very strange tree. The tree is like a large oak tree. The base of it may be 30 feet wide, tall, wide branches, but that's not the thing that grabs your attention. The thing that grabs your attention about the tree is the 1,000 or so eyes in the tree. It is a tree with eyes. And Master Eden says, "That's the way! That's the way this will take us to the Fey Realm. For some reason, we can get through now. This is not usually here. It's on no maps that I know of, but I'm sure this is the way." And you'll gallop towards the tree. The king, the prince, the cleric, Lord Simonda, the archmage, and of course Torque. And you rush through this tree. And at this point, Torque, things get a little fuzzy. You've heard of this place called a Fey Realm, and you know that it's everything's a little fuzzy here. Time's a little messy. The landscape itself can change at a moment's notice. But you gallop through this tree into this strange place with vibrant colors, everything turned up to 10. Beautiful ponds, waterfalls, mountains all around you. But Torque, you only see yourself. You don't see the rest of the party. What do you do?
I start to call out, "My prince, Father Lester, Master Eden, where are you?" Then I start calling for the queen. "Laurentia, Laurentia, are you there?"
No answer.
Well, I begin to search the local area in the hope of finding the rest of the rescue party.
Okay, make an investigation check.
Yeah.
You wander around this strange land for a good hour, and you do not see Queen Laurentia or the rescue party for that matter. And I don't think I mentioned this. When you went through the tree, you looked back and there was no similar tree on the other side. And you looked for an hour and there's no sign of anybody.
So the landscape around me, I've scouted the local area looking for signs of other people or other occupation.
Oh. So you wander around a bit more looking for any type of intelligent life. And you see a female figure, her feet splashing in the water. You don't see her face, but from behind she's dressed in like a cloak seemingly made from the land itself, like with twigs and leaves and flowers all intermingled with it, with long brown auburn hair flowing down her back, and she's got her back to you and she's just splashing her feet in the river.
"My lady," I call out. "My lady." Forgive my interruption.
Come sit with me, traveller.
So I'll head towards her and take a knee, so to speak.
No, I am no royalty. I am just a simple lass. You seem stressed.
I am a stranger in a strange land. I'm in pursuit of the Queen Laurentia, who's been abducted from Aglerion.
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 Oh, that is
I don't read so
terrible.
good.
Take your boots off and put them in the river with me. The rivers go everywhere. They get into every crook and crevice. Maybe you can find your party by listening to the river. And you must be connected to something to listen to it. So take those boots off and splash in the water with me.
Although it seems strange to me, in this realm, can I insight this lady to see if she is trustworthy?
She's shown you no violence. You're not getting any bad vibes from her. And it kind of, she's a very beautiful woman in a very beautiful land, doing very peaceful things. So you don't get any negative vibes from her.
Well, then I shall remove my boots and dip my, no doubt, sore feet into the waterway.
The water is cool and refreshing, and she says, "Now, let us listen together. Don't say a word. Listen to the river. The river holds many secrets." And you pause for 10, 20, 30 minutes. Make a perception check, Torque.
Where's perception gone? Oh, there we are.
Despite this woman's insistence that the river can tell many stories, you get cold feet, and that's about it. But she says to you, "What did you hear? What did you feel? What did you sense? What did you smell from the river? What questions did it answer?"
Well, my feet are cold. My toes are wrinkled. I heard the babbling, but I heard no words from the stream. The smell upon the air was fresh and clean. No smell of the horses of my compatriots, and no sign. I learnt nothing of my queen.
Why are you here, traveller? Who are you and what brought you here?
My duty brought me here. I've searching for Queen Laurentia, who had been abducted, and my king and my captain had ordered me to pursue, and I was following, hoping to fulfill my duty and service to them, so that I might be recognized for my worth.
So a sense of duty and honor brought you here? Would that be fair?
That is correct.
I think you are not listening to the land appropriately. And she brings out a dagger, not threateningly, not pointing at you, and says, "I think you need to be more part of the land. I am sure this will open your ears some more, and your heart, and your eyes, and your smell, and your taste. But it's going to cost you something." And she brings up the dagger, puts it on your cheek, and just presses in a little bit so a little drop of blood comes out. "Do you trust me, stranger?"
You have done me no harm so far, so if you believe that this will help, go forth.
And she digs the dagger into the side of your face and drags it down. Why don't you explain to us, Torque, what this scar looks like? That might be easier. So
So the scar starts just across the corner of my left eye and runs down the cheek towards the point of my chin there, and it's something that still gives me pain to this day from time to time.
He drags the blade and blood just starts gushing out. Continue to trust me, stranger. And she takes your head and puts it in the water. And you see this beautiful crystal clear thing is all of a sudden stained with your blood. You are a stranger in this land.
So I'm not liking this and I'm beginning to struggle.
Okay, she's holding you down, so make an athletics check. She pushes your head under the water and you're struggling to breathe and you try and get up. This very lithe lady has held you down and you try and grab at this hand around your neck and you notice it's not a beautiful hand anymore. It is a gnarled green hand with talons. It says, you should not have come here. You are messing in things that you are not to be privy to. You are not welcome. And this will be your final resting place. And she takes a dagger and stabs you in the side a few times, which gives you the limp later on in life. And then you struggle, and you hear this cackling voice holding you down. Everything goes black. Roll up a new character there, Pat.
Yeah, fair enough.
You wake up sometime later. You don't know how much time has passed. You're sure this was the end. But you wake up in a place here. And number 123 on the map. The Temple of Life. And you see, standing over top of you, another dwarf, not Lord Signmonder, but it's the cleric of this temple, a guy called Ottmar Onamail. And it says, Torque, thought we'd lost you, lad. Tell me, what happened?
Well, I don't quite know how to describe it. We chased for days across the land. We encountered some sort of magical portal in a tree which was covered in eyes. On the other side, everybody else was gone. I couldn't find anyone, and a lady was there, and she offered to show me how to find what I was seeking, and she cut me and drowned me under the water, as far as I know, and I blacked out, and now I'm here.
Well, there's no easy way to sell this, lad. You've been gone. Lord Signmonder would tell you how we got you out of there. But the last 10 years, you've been here in the Temple of Life, in a coma of sorts, I guess it's describe it. So, yeah, time has been lost, lad.
I looked down at my body, and I noticed the scars, and I also noticed that my once formerly bulging muscles have withered away, and now I'm but a former shadow of myself as I remember myself when I went on the initial quest. Now I'm just a husk, barely able to move around with freedom, and clearly not the man that I once was.
Lad, you have wasted away. You've got years of rehabilitation to get you through this. I will do my best, but it's going to be on you, lad, to get back to where you were. Things have changed. Anyway, let me fetch Lord Signmonder. He will be pleased to know that you're awake. The Lord Signmonder says, "Oh, lad, now look, I'm sorry for what happened to you. No one deserves what happened to you. You have my
But at
sympathy."
least did you rescue the Queen?
And with this, Lord Signmonder, a pale dwarf at the best of times, gets even more pale, and his face turns red. You know Lord Signmonder as a man of pride and honour and strength. You've never seen him even falter for a second. But at the mention of the Queen, he says, "Aye, yeah, we rescued that Queen, but we lost Prince Krasno and Father Lester. My most solemn oath I've taken to protect the royal family. I have failed them. Saved the Queen, lost the Prince."
A failure that I too share in.
That's our
May I
solemn
live
duty.
long enough to grow strong enough to serve once more, if I am able.
Well, get yourself back on your feet, lad, and we'll take it from there. But you'll be more than welcome back in the Crown Guard once you're well enough. But rest up, lad. We've got lots of healing to do, and time has passed. The princess has grown up, and she's quite the headstrong young lady. Anyway, I'm sure you'll get an opportunity to meet Princess Athena at some point. Just
Thank you for all you did, my lord.
all right. Get back on your feet. So for the next, I'll say, years, you do lots of physical therapy, lots of training, lots of healing with Otmar Onomail at your side. The city that you've known has changed, and it's suggested that you go along with one of Bantelier Wordsplash's stone shields, one of his city tours. So after your healing, that's where you'll meet up at number 2. That's where you'll meet up. And this is, by the way, where everybody's path will meet. This is where your characters will meet. But unless there's anything else for Torque, we can move on to Baleson. You good, Torque?
Good, although injured.
Oh. Well, at the start of the campaign, you have the limp and the scar, but otherwise just a level 1 character.
Feel your pain, Paul.
So, turn our attention once more to the plains of Iglerion. And we see a figure stumbling through somewhere. When we see Baleson. What does Baleson look like at this moment of lost in the wilderness?
Well, but Baleson at this moment is quite emaciated, quite weak, hungry. He's a tall, imposing figure, but he's sort of stumbling through the plains, through the wilderness. He's sort of just trying to keep moving in order to keep moving. He's a half orc. He is, even when he's not, when he's hale and hearty, he's not the most green. He's quite a sort of quite a pale sort of half orc, and he's hold on, that's perfect timing. My sons have just decided to start talking to me right now. Yeah, take those outside. Okay. And he's got some sort of clothes that are a little bit ragged. He's obviously been out here for several days and that sort of thing. But the quality of the clothes are quite nice. But he's been sleeping rough for a long time, and he's at the end of his limit.
You find yourself.
He has a beard.
Mhm.
Yeah, go, oh, no, I was just going to say he has a beard. He has hair, that sort of thing. But it's like a beard that used to look nice, if that makes any sense. It's grown out. He's obviously been out here for a long time.
Yeah. So this was a movie. You would see a very disheveled, unkempt Baleson. And with your passive perception of 9, you find yourself in a forest and you go through a forest path and you hear some howling sounds. Some creatures of the night might be close. And Baleson, why don't you make me a perception check for your first roll of the campaign?
Cool.
You can do as well as Torque.
Perception.
Yep.
I can't do as well as that. Oh, though, 17 is not too bad.
18 on the dice. The howls get closer and closer and closer until at the last moment you notice a pack of 4 wolves all around you, and they start growling. And for the first time in the campaign,
roll for initiative.
Oh, crikey. Rolling for initiative. Let's go. That's a 14. Did I click on my token? No, I did not. Classic. It's a 14.
I got you.
Not a
There we
6.
go. So let's change
Yeah,
that. Change that 6 to a 14.
Yep. Well versed in that.
Yeah. All right. Wow, 14 is good, but not great. I mean, these wolves. Just gonna get their character sheet up. With your perception, they don't get a surprise attack on you, but they do launch at you. Let me just get their sheet set up. So they're all waiting for their moment to pounce. And the first one does pounce, come leaping out of the forest, teeth barking, and it goes to bite you. There we go. It's a good start. It rolls a 22.
Yeah, that hits.
And can you make me a strength saving throw, please?
Oh, okay. Strength saving. Let's go. 19.
The wolf does get a good bite at you. Takes a 3. Oh no, sorry. That's not right. That's 4 points of damage as it sinks his teeth in you, and the massive form of the wolf, like this is like a Great Dane sort of size, tries to throw you to the ground, but it doesn't. The other wolf comes springing through the forest, and it's going to use pack tactics to attack you at advantage. And your armor class Baleson is 13, is that right? 13?
Yep, 13.
Oh, they roll a 7 and an 8, so the next one misses. But then the third wolf charges at you. It too will roll at advantage. And it
Sorry, can I just pause there? My boys are
Sure.
just kicking off. It's perfect timing.
Cliffhanger.
Allison's going home in a body bag.
A rough starts for Torque and Baleson.
Okay, back now.
Right.
What did that third one roll?
19's at advantage. 19 and a 19. So
That hits.
And does 5 points of damage. As it lets out a
Oh, goodness
roar.
gracious.
And
Yeah.
Baleson, you're getting mauled by dogs. What do you do?
do I have a no strength saving throw for that one?
Sorry,
what do I do?
right. You're right. A strength saving throw. Thank you for reminding me. Strength saving throw.
Oh, natural 20.
Push off the dog and throw it to the ground. Still snarling at you. What do you do?
Yeah. So it's my turn, is it? Oh
Yeah,
my gosh. Look, I'm just gonna go for the one. It's one of the two bottom ones that hurt me. I'm just gonna try and hit one of them. My goodness, I don't have any features or traits. So, yeah, no, I'm just gonna take a swipe with my short sword. Let's go. Oh, it's not sending it through because something's broken. Cool. This is a +5 on this. 21.
21 definitely hits. Yeah, roll damage.
Alright, add 3 to this. 9 points of damage, and it was going for this one over here.
Okay, cool. So you do bring your short sword off and hack at these guys, and that's 9 points of damage. The wolf lets out a little yelp, like, oh, but it doesn't kill it.
I'm not doing any other action. I don't have any bonus actions or anything else. Fantastic. So that's me.
The last wolf comes bounding towards you, sensing the kill. It goes for the bite, and it rolls a 10 and a 12, which miss.
Both of those miss. Yep.
Off in the distance. Here, hey! Get away from him! And then an arrow shoots across the bow, and it actually lands in this wolf that you heard. Get out of there! Get out of there, you damn dirty mongrels! And another arrow flies across and hits, I don't know, this one at the top for not enough damage to kill it. And the wolves start yelping, and they see some creatures approach, and the wolves scatter to the woods, thinking better of it. And a man comes over and says, "Are you all right, lad?"
I'm far from all right. I'm gravely wounded.
What are you doing out here, you daft bugger?
Well, can I say, is that you wouldn't happen to be part of that traveling troupe I saw at home? You performed, didn't you? Where I'm from, right?
Oh, yes. We're the Uncanny Vagabonds. We're a band of circus performers. We travel from town to town. But you, lad...
Yes, no.
Well, you didn't answer my question. What the hell are you doing out here all by yourself? You almost got mauled by wolves, you daft bastard.
Well, no. I was looking for you. Look, I don't know. I felt drawn, even compelled to search for you, and thought I might, well, in this roundabout way, offer you my services. Please, sir, are you taking on any help?
You really are a daft bastard. You said we came through your town. You thought I'd join us, so you wandered through the forest, almost get yourself killed to find us. Why didn't you just approach us at your village, you daft fool?
I couldn't do it at the time. You see, circumstances and happenstance and all of that. And no, look, it was a spur of the moment decision to come and find you, and so therefore, when I made the decision, I've decided to follow through, and I have now. And so, my goodness, I can't express my gratitude enough for you having come to help. So please, thanks. Can I join with you?
Four figures emerge from the shadows. There's a human male called Gren, a tabaxi called Whispering Winds, and a dragonborn called Morrigan. And Gren speaks up first. Look, Tatus. Take no offense at this, Wolfsbane. But we need people of competence. People who make good decisions. People who don't need saving. People who know their way around. This daft idiot was wandering the woods by himself, and if it wasn't for us, he almost got killed. We need competent people. And Green says, "Are you competent, half-orc?"
Well, I mean, you saw me. I didn't go down, and dare I say it, if it actually gone down, I would have popped right back up again. And I mean, it was a close run thing. I was definitely outnumbered, but you saw I almost killed one with a single blow, and so I can handle myself in a fight. Maybe not 4-1, but were I to join you, it wouldn't be 4-1. It'd be 5-on-4, and clearly we've won the day. And so, please.
Whispering Wind says, "Look, we value... Some might consider our value system a little odd, but one thing we insist upon is honesty. I'm not interested in your past. Many people join the Vagabonds with to escape from their past, and if you are escaping from the past, that's fine. That's par for the course. But you can't honestly tell me that you could have fought off all 4 wolves by yourself. Speak honestly. Speak plainly. These are the things we value."
In which case, I know I probably would have died. But I would have given my all to survive. And I probably would have taken 1 or 2 down with me. Hopefully more. But no, I probably wouldn't have killed them all. But I would have made a big dent in their numbers.
Confidence is something we do value as part of our unique code, shall we say. Morgan then speaks up. "All right, I'll tell you what. Tell us one truth about yourself and one lie. And let's see how quickly you can fool us or persuade us. So tell us a truth, tell us a lie. Let's see what we think of you then."
One truth and one lie. I love my mother dearly. And I am handy with a sword.
Whispering Wind says, "Well, that's disappointing. That's no way to spin a yarn. Plainly you are good with a sword. We saw how you took out that wolf. Plainly, you do not love your mother." And we're going to pause here as my alarm goes off. Need to quickly do some dad stuff. So I'll pause it there as Balson interacts with the Uncanny Vagabonds. Okay, be right back, guys. the campaign. But Whispering Winds says, "Oh, that was disappointing. Tell me something that could be a lie or could be a truth. And it would be up to decide if you're lying or telling the truth. So tell us something. It could be a lie or the truth. And the game is for us to determine what you're saying."
All right. Well, I need to be with the uncanny vagabonds, and I would lay down my life in to have a family such as you.
Make me a persuasion or a deception check, please, Baleson.
Non-look. Can I do a secret roll 20?
If you like.
To you?
To,
Yeah, I
to
forgot how
me? Oh, you want to
Yeah,
do it?
slash GR space D20.
And if you like, you can whisper to me the total.
Oh, where my
and whether it's
total.
deception or persuasion.
Okay, slash GM. Is that slash GM? Oh, no, slash W. Yeah, that's right. GM. Yep. There you go.
Harris was the de facto leader of the Uncanny Vagabonds. Tell you what you'll do. You can join us on a temporary, shall we say, membership. We will feed you, we will heal your wounds, and we'll give you everything you need to survive for now, because quite frankly, you are not doing too well by yourself, mate, now are you?
You're right. I'd be eternally grateful if I could join you. Please.
All right. So for now, you've joined up with the Uncanny Vagabonds. You were picked up, they tell you, somewhere in the King's Forest. Somewhere in here is where they found you. And eventually, you make your way down at the town of Harveston. Okay. Yeah. Harveston is a very much a farming community. They have not that many amenities. There's lots of people coming and going, sending trade all the way back to Oathbreaker. It's a simple farming town. And Whispering Winds comes up to you and they say, "Well, it's time for you to earn your keep." And she brings out 4, what do you call them? Almost like pocket watches. And she shows you one of them. And she says, "How much do you think these fine things are worth, Wolfsbane?"
Can I look at them and inspect them?
Sure. Make a perception check.
Perception, is it?
Yep.
Yeah, cool. Oh, a 17.
They look like there may be worth a silver piece in that. They look finer than they actually are, and you spot the little flaws, the little telltale signs. It's like, I imagine spotting a fake Rolex. It's that type of thing.
Yep. Yep. So I say to her then, it looks like they could be worth, 5 gold pieces or more to the untrained eye. However, you see here this minor flaw here and this little piece of cheapness, and it's not quite keeping the right time. I suspect a silver piece or less.
You have quite the eye. And she takes one of the pieces, and there's some green rusty type stuff on it, and she wipes it off. Good. Now your second test, Wolfsbane, is how can we use these to make money?
Well, dare I say it, selling it for more than they might be worth, or perhaps some form of magical distraction technique while other things are happening behind
Quite.
people's back?
This is the oldest con in the book. You're going to be selling these watches. As soon as you get someone mildly interested in it, then I'll come along and buy the watches and says, oh my god, these are originals. I'll pay 20 gold pieces for them, and I'll take the 2 of them. And then the person will think that the easiest person to con is someone who's being greedy. I'll make the pitch that they are being vastly undervalued, and I'll snap up 2 of them. And then your job is to sell them at an extraordinarily inflated value. Do you think you could do that?
Certainly, of course, yes. And I feel I could do that, of course.
Well, get to it. I'll see you soon. And she disappears into the crowd.
And Balson sort of steadies himself. It wasn't quite what he was expecting to do, but if this is a way that he can prove himself to them, then of course he'll do it.
How do you go about selling the watches?
So he gathers them up and sees if there's like a piece of material or something that he can place them on, and
Sure.
And sort of places them there. And he's incredibly nervous. He's never sold anything really in his life, but he stands up and says, fine watches for sale, fine watches for sale, the like that's never been seen this far west in many a year. Watches for sale. Please. Luckily, I have no family, because they'd complain if I sold them for prices such as this. Yes, the finest watch in this whole land.
And a rather portly man, plainly not a typical farming guy, which is a lot of them around here. So, they're mighty. They look cheap. How much are you selling them for?
Well, I mean, cheapness is in the eye of the beholder. I mean, they're fantastic watches. Listen, I'll tell you what. I'll sell them for 20 gold pieces. You're right. I am selling it for cheap. 20 gold pieces is very cheap.
That sounds expensive for that type of thing. At that moment, a whispering wind sweeps in. I'm sorry. Can I have a closer look at the watch, please?
Oh, sure, but please keep your hands where I can see them. I'm not wanting to be robbed blind.
My God, were these the ones made by Arlen the Constructor, the Archmage? I recognize his sigil on the back here. These are worth
Is that his sigil?
Yes, these are...
Oh!
I actually, no, I shouldn't have said that. I tell you what, give me 3 of them. I can't afford for what. Give me 3 of them, and she hands over 60 gold pieces. Just hold on to the last one, okay? I got to go back and get more money.
Of course, no, yeah, okay. And takes the 60 gold pieces.
I'll take the last one. I'm sure she won't mind. Here's 60 gold pieces.
You want 60 gold pieces for the last? Well, I mean, okay, I can't be bought off that easily, but sure, here you go. Here, no, take it for the 60 gold pieces. Thank you very much.
He rushes away with a completely worthless watch and 60 gold pieces, and of course, Whispering Wind comes back with all the money that she gave you and the watches, and you guys are down one crappy watch and up 60 gold pieces. And he says, that is how we do it. And that is who we do it to as well. Many farmers here are good, honest, hard-working folk. We have plenty of time for good, honest, hard-working folk. But people who get rich off the back and the sweat of others, that's who we target.
I hear you. I hear you loud and clear. And he's feeling a rush. He's never done something so untoward and so naughty and so he's feeling a thrill. It worked under the wings of Whispering Wind.
The next few months, you pull similar scams in Gorso, in Ronald's End, in Willow Creek, in Nangarth, and eventually you make your way to the major capital city of Oathbreaker, which you've never been to before. And Terrace, the head of the Uncanny Vagabonds, look, this is going to take some time. There's some context. These are much more complicated things politically here in Oathbreaker. Why don't you go with my old mate of mine, Bantella Word Splasher, and have a little tour of the city. And get back to me once you've had a look around. And it's always good to see what new people arrive in town as well. Can you do that for me, Baleson?
I'm so excited. This is the biggest city he's ever been to. He's heard of it, and he's like, "You want me to tour the city?" I mean, of course. And he gives him sort of a wink. You mean tour the city, right?
I mean, learn about the city, learn about the newcomers in the city, because it's usually newcomers that here, and that's always interesting. Things to work out. So we'll be in touch, and you may consider yourself part of the Uncanny Vagabonds family now, if it wasn't obvious before.
He's stoked.
Okay. Now we do in fact switch to the town of Gorso. And come across a small... the town of Gorso is known around the town as a bit of a untowards place, shall we say. It is ruled by the head of the Gorso family, Lord Gorso, and he's known for wanting to have as many possible children as he can. And no one knows how many he has, but he has a lot. There's a Gorso manor in the centre of it, a multi-story structure. There's a wall around the city, and it's right on the banks of the River Ninok, and the only way to get in and out of the city is surrounded by like a moat, and the bridge that connects the moat has been long destroyed, and there's a ferryman that takes people back and forth to get inside and out of Gorso. One of the thriving businesses in Gorso, with the Lord just being losing it by most accounts, is the Floating Nymph, a brothel of some renown, and there's lots of business and taxes that Lord Ziamandos collects from there. But almost standing out of place, there is a small temple there, and inside the small temple is Vinny, what does Pastor Timothy look like?
Pastor Timothy is a half elf who wears the robes of the Redeemer. A fairly unassuming kind of religious garb, but he looks out of place. This might be just the half elf, but he looks too young to be in charge of a flock. He looks around expectantly at the people going past and waits for someone to catch his eye, but everyone seems to not be that interested in what he's selling. He's a handsome little fella. His cassock is just lightly stained with mud at the bottom. And he also seems a bit nervous, wringing his hands and looking towards the manor expectantly.
Takes a little while for you to get established, but eventually you get a small congregation. There's about 10 members. Most of them are ladies of the night, some of them carrying newborn babies, but it seems maybe they're being polite, maybe they have a genuine interest in the Redeemer. So what type of things are you telling your little congregation?
The light of the Redeemer is not only for those who live up in towers like that, in places like that. The light of the Redeemer is for us all. And I know, looking around this congregation, there are a few people who even myself, have done things that possibly they're not proud of. But the Redeemer, it's all there in the name, isn't it? The Redeemer, not the one of your flashy religions where they're all whiz bang magic and all that. We just do our work, and we every day we try to make the world a little bit better.
All smile and nod. Obviously, being in the position they're in, they haven't had the easiest of life. Obviously, there's no father around. If there is a father, it's kind of almost given as a given that if there's children around here, more than likely they're going to be a Gorso. Maybe the Lord himself, maybe or one of his favorite sons. But yeah, a lot of inbreeding here, shall we say that? But they all smile politely. Pastor Timothy, can you make me a dexterity saving throw, please?
Oh shit!
And your first roll of the campaign, Pastor Timothy. 15 is pretty good. A rotten tomato is thrown at you. And at the last moment, you duck to the side and it splats against the wall. And you know this is Lord Gorso's eldest son, Dironias Gorso. What rubbish you're preaching! The Redeemer? Come on, there is no redemption here. You should be worshipping the efficient master, the god of competence, the god of commerce, the god who takes care of those who take care of themselves. Don't believe this baloney, this guy's full of it. And he throws another tomato. Make another dexterity saving throw.
Okay, I'm going to try and catch it.
Oh. Well, your dexterity saving throw. Oh,
Oh,
catch it in one hand, and it's rotten, but your touch is so delicate that you have the rotten tomato in your hand.
look at it and I say, even this Master Gorso is worth something. People could be eating this. No, it's not the best. It's not the best. It's not for the people up in the tower, but the people down here, it's what we need. It's what we need stuff like you're just chucking it about. Just like your father, just chucking it about, aren't you? Oh. Now everyone here, take this. Take heed of this. Don't know exactly what if the priest, the proper priest from the church who's supposed to be here, they keep saying he's going to be here, but I'll take care of you until he gets here. And mark my words, this tomato, just like this tomato, will all come good.
Lord Dyronias Gorso, he turns almost as red as the tomato, and he whispers something, and sort of a stage whisper says, "No one makes a fill of Dyronias Gorso. You will pay for that, Timothy." And he storms away from the congregation.
Okay, now that blessed child of the Redeemer, as we all are, has left us in peace, let us all turn to our chapter books, open to page 119. Blessed are those who turn the other cheek. And
Yep.
he leads them in a hymn.
Make me a general religion check. See how good you are at leading this. That's how good the service was. It's pretty good. I mean, an above average sermon from Pastor Timothy. Eventually your congregation either returns back to the flirty nymph or go to their where they sleep. And night falls in Gorso, and you're going about your usual routine of cleaning up. And as the lights get really dark, you notice a figure at the doorway, almost the shattered moon sitting behind him, and it's just a silhouette.
Hello there. Can I help you?
And he steps fully into your little temple, and it's Dyronias Gorso, and he says, "I told you not to make a fool of me, Timothy. Now it is time to pay." And he flicks out a short sword and starts approaching you.
Now, young Dyro, what would your father say about this? And what would the people of this town say about this? Come on, sit with me and we can talk this out. I tell you, I promise you, it'll feel good. It'll feel a lot better than you getting all stabby with that little thing you've got there.
You're a man of words. I am a man of action. This town is Gorso. Gorso is the town, and the law is what we say it is. And I'm gonna cut you down. And he takes a swing at you with a sword, rolling a 16, which I imagine hits.
Yep.
I will say for 4 points of damage as he cuts you. Action, that's where it's at. The efficient master helps those who help themselves.
Oh, very good swing there, young master. That's terrible. Timothy's never been in a situation like this. He's been close. Things have been brewing for a while, especially between him and some of these Gorsos. He reaches for a weapon, which is something that he wouldn't think he'd do, but finds his hand on his dagger, but puts it away, like just takes his hand off, and reaches out forward to hold his hands up and say, "Look, we can still talk this out." But as he's holding his hands up, a strange feeling courses through his arms, and a chaos bolt erupts from his hands.
Oh, it just smacks him right, catches him on the side of the face and leaves a half cut, half burn, and it's very much disfigured the side of his face. And he starts screaming, "What the? Are you son of a bitch?"
Oh, you don't know. I don't know what happened there. I'm so sorry. Oh, sir.
You know exactly what you're doing. I'm coming back with backup. You're going to die this night. And he storms out. And an old friend. In fact, the rather gentle tiefling who runs the floaty nymph, and he rushes in and he says, "Oh, Pastor Timothy, what have you done?"
I don't know. Yes,
You know you're a dead man, right?
It was a strange thing that came up. I think it was the Redeemer. I believe it was the Redeemer, but I can't be sure. Maybe it was something terrible. I can't.
You made the Gorso. That's you. You're a dead man.
What do I do?
You come with me right now. Grab any positions, and quickly come with me.
Pastor Timothy grabs his holy symbol and vestments and a bedroll and a couple of things like that, and also a poster that he's got on his wall, his bedroom wall, of Honored Beer, the city Honored Beer that he keeps there.
All right, follow me. We'll hide you in the floating nymph until we can think of a next move. Come. And as you're rushing across the down of Gorso, we're going to pause it just for a second there, because we're going to go inside Gorso Manor itself. And there we see Lord Ziadimos Gorso. And he's got someone with him. Riley, what does Hector look like? And there's no squid arms at the moment, by the way. So what does Hector look like pre-squid arms?
Hector is the average noble. Upkept, well-dressed. His teeth are a little unaligned, but that's to be expected. Doesn't take much after his father. Black hair. Nothing discernible about him yet.
All right, Hector. You're one of my favourite sons. You know that, right?
Yes, Lord.
There's hundreds of the bastards running out there, so consider that self quite an honour. Look, I need you to do your weekly duty. I need you to go down to the floaty nymph and collect, what did we set it at? 20% of their takings, and bring it back to me. I have an extra special pleasure for you after that.
Thank you, my lord. Shall be done.
So you head down to the floaty nymph, Hector. It's quite a respectable establishment. There is drink fallen. It looks like a well-kept inn, and you see the person you're supposed to talk to, Gianassus, the head of the floating inn. Oh, hello, Hector. Is that time of the week again, is it?
Yes, it is again time for your payment to keep this establishment running.
Yes, of course, and I think we set it at 8%. I've counted out the coppers and the silvers and the gold, and I'll believe you'll find it is all
20%.
20%. That is
Yes, you see, there's been some rather new interests in procuring this spot in this water, so you'll be wise to pay the 20%, or this ship won't be the only thing floating in the water.
Make a persuasion check or intimidation check, Hector. Your choice, and this will be your first roll of the game.
Intimidation.
Yeah, I think intimidation. Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh, it's not bad. Look, your father agreed on 8%. I simply cannot do 20. It will bankrupt us, and no one will get any money whatsoever. What do we make it?
That is
15?
not my problem.
15.
50 what?
15%. 15%. Look,
I think we both understand that my father, Lord Gorso, is not that reasonable of a man. This toll shall be paid with either money, or he will send people to collect it in other ways. I am merely the messenger. If you have issues, take it up with him, but put him in a good mood first. Pay the toll.
Okay. I'll pay the toll now, and I'll arrange a meeting with Lord Gorso, and we can discuss rates. But 20%, that's fine. And that's almost triple, because he was paying 8. 20 is almost 3 times 8. And he counts it up, and it gives you a much larger bag of money.
One piece of advice. Be
Yes,
careful if you do try and negotiate. Be very careful with your words, or you might see it increase further. This is not a threat, this is merely a warning.
Of course, understood. My deepest apologies. We won't have any confusion next time.
Yes, I hope for a long, beautiful relationship.
All right. And as you take this big bag of money, a young lady, one of the ladies of the night, she's about 25, and she has a young toddler on her hip, maybe about 2-3 years old, getting a little too big to be carried around on one hips, but that's what she's doing. Excuse me, Mr. Lord, I'm not sure how to refer to you, I'll say Lord, Lord Hector Gorso, I'm not sure if that's even your name, but you see, my babe here is quite sick. Could I perhaps have a little bit of gold back from all the gold I earned for the Gorsos this week for a sick child? Please, sir.
I do believe this tavern owner, tavern quote unquote, is a very reasonable and pleasant man. If you need a down payment, I'm sure he would gladly help you with that.
I've tried, sir. I've really tried. Please, have mercy.
How much do you need?
Well, the medicine's going to be at least 3 gold pieces.
You can have 1.
Oh, thank you,
And
sir.
thank me for it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. And she rushes off and, I don't know, goes to the market to try and negotiate 3 gold pieces worth of medicine for 1 gold piece.
Silly wrench.
And she dashes back. So you return back. You can kind of almost tell if you zoom in on Gorso, there's this manor right at the top. That's where the Lord lives. And you come back and, well, I don't know, do you bring back all the gold to the Lord Ziamandos Gorso, or do you keep... What do you do?
I bring back all the gold for the glory of the Gorso family.
Oh, I see you've got a little bit more, son. Well
You said
done.
20%. I
Why,
get you
Bill?
20%.
Why, I actually was expecting 10. So you've done well. All right, so let's get to this little treat. I've got you. And he takes you to a separate room, and there is a perfectly healthy, perfectly alive unicorn. And he says, "Isn't she a beaut, Hector?"
Is a intriguing specimen.
All right. We need to harvest it for what we can, and we need the horn. This is a way that's going to increase our power tenfold. If we can tap into the magic of this unicorn, then, well, let's just say the one who we worship will bless us even more. Did you bring your
I
butchering
worship the
knife?
family, nobody else. But yes, I did.
All right, and well, since you've done so well with the taxes, why don't you slay the beast and then we'll get to harvesting.
Where would you like me to start?
And the slitting of the throat is the best place to start.
I'm going to walk over to it, mumble under myself. The only thing you slit should be your own wrists. You're a scourge to this family. The amount of money you spent on women nearly sends us bankrupt.
It's all for
Family
the
is
family.
glorious and noble.
It's all for the family bloodline, son. What are you doing? Kill the beast.
I'm mumbling.
Sure.
Family is noble. There's so many bastards running around. I will then proceed to kill the unicorn.
Cool. Yeah, the unicorn whinnies and lets out screams. Some of
A
them,
mercy upon thee. From this
And-
world to the next.
and the unicorn, which has been quiet up to now, starts screaming and begging for us. You do this. I can help. I could be a blessing to the family. No, don't do this. Do you do it anyway, Hector?
I am blind and deaf to the screams of the unworthy. You are not human and have not proven you are sentient. Die.
And Hector kills the unicorn, much to the unicorn's chagrin. And over the next wee while, the heart. It's quite a gruesome scene with Hector and the Lord massacring this poor beast, putting its heart in a jar, putting its lungs, draining of it most of its blood, plucking out its eyes. It's just terrible. And he says, "Well, Hector, you're both just covered in blood. It's a horrible sight." He says, "Well, there's only one piece left to remove, and I'll let you do the honor. Remove the horn, Hector."
Thank you, Lord. This beast shall go a long ways in serving the mighty Gorso family. I'm going to take extra care in cutting off the horn.
You take extra care, but the narrative says you actually do a terrible job of taking off the horn, and the horn snaps in two, and you're left with one half of the horn and one half of the horn in each hand. And Lord Goza says, "Hector! You idiot! Do you know how long it took me to acquire this thing? And you've just screwed up the most valuable piece of the whole thing? What do you have to say for yourself?"
Obviously, this creature is trying to divide us and sully my name. Obviously a foul trickery in its last moments. You must have been swindled. Damaged already. I am you in your own flesh and blood. I would never make mistakes.
You did make a mistake, and now you're branding it on the damn unicorn. You are just a simple bastard like the rest of them. I assumed you had potential, but to me now you're a nobody. And he takes his great sword, swings it up at you. You put your hand up in defense, and he slices through your arm, and your arm falls helplessly to the side. And instinctively, you try and gush the blood with your actual hand.
I have just as much potential as you, father. And if that's none, that's only a reflection on you. You've ruined this family in your filthy ways. We are nobles and act like it.
You are no son of mine. You are no noble. And he kicks you firmly in the chest, and you go soaring out the window of the Gorso Manor and land in a heap at the bottom.
Blast you, Lord.
Blast you, Lord! As you fall and you land on the ground, and you assume this is the story of Hector. Pastor Timothy, as you're returning to the floating nymph, you notice the body of Hector land right next to you without an arm.
Oh dear. What? Son, are you alright?
Do I look like I'm alright?
No response. You're unconscious.
Looking around, I'll apply what healingness spells I can do right here at the moment, but I've got to take them with me.
Okay. Do you actually have healing spells, Pastor Timothy? Like cure wounds or something?
No, not yet, no.
Why don't you make me a medicine check then? Oh, wow.
Natural 20!
You managed to stem the bleeding. You fear he's most likely going to deal from blood loss with this horrible lack of an arm, and you apply a tourniquet and get it off and tighten it off. And he's got a broken leg as well from the fall. But with the help of the proprietor of the Flirty Nymph, Giannis, this guy here, you managed to drag the unconscious body of Hector without an arm into the back of the Flirty Nymph. All right.
Yeah. What can we do with this? I've got to get out of here.
My job is to keep you safe. All right. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to the ladies here like you, not in that way. They just respect you, and they'll keep quiet as they saw you bringing in both of them. So my job is to put them off the scent, and you need to get to the stage where you can get this man so he at least can walk with you. Get him walking, and then we'll get you out of here. Okay, I'm already done too much. I need to give the appearance of normality. So keep quiet, get him on his feet, and then we'll get you walking out of here. And with that, Janice,
can we stay for at least a night? We'll be gone by dawn.
You can stay for as long as you need, but you need to get him walking. Dragging him out of here is going to be no good. Get him walking. As soon as he's walking, that's a day, that's a week. Of course, the longer you stay here, the more risky it is, but I'll do my best to keep them away.
All right. Well, I hate to deprive you of any of your revenue, but if we could have one of the back rooms for a night or two, I'm sure I can get this boy up and walking.
And they give you a room. This is the furthest room away, so ideally it would arrive the least suspicion. And Janice leaves and sees you and what do you do, Pastor Timothy? You're looking pretty crappy yourself. Are you looking pretty crappy? Yeah, you got damaged by
Yeah, I got a short sword. Yeah.
Yep.
but I'm ignoring my own wounds and tending to this poor boy. Do I recognize him?
Oh yeah, you do. He's the favor, well, presumably no longer, but he was the favor son of Lord Gorso.
Right. So the first thing I've got to do is take his at least his upper clothes off, and as I take them off, I see the crest of the Gorso family and shove all that in a like a garbage bag to hide it, and spend the night with him, salving his wounds. And
rather fortunately, some gentlemen who have used this room have left in such a hurry, maybe from wives with pans, and there's actually several sets of clothes, more commoner clothes that would definitely make Hector not look like a nobleman.
right, so I'll leave them to the side while his wound is so fresh. Yeah.
What about his leg? His legs should have bent at that angle.
His legs. Okay, yeah, definitely the legs.
Leg, singular. One leg is mangled.
Leg. Now, boy, I know you're unconscious, but if you can hear me, I'm sorry for this. And I try to snap his leg back into place and splint it.
We'll say at this point, I mean, it was one of those nasty compound fractures with the bone sticking out. But you do set it, I presume apply some type of support to it, splint it. And the pain, Hector, is unbearable. And you wake up to see Pastor Timothy, someone who you've probably looked down upon like most of the town does. And he's appeared to be healing your wounds, albeit painfully.
Bloody priests. Thought you'd be better at this. Isn't this your only job?
It is, well, I mean, my care is normally for the spiritual welfare of my flock. You, son, how did you find yourself in such a way?
Bloody Lord Gorso himself. Just make one mistake, and the fall from grace is oh so far.
He did this to you, his own son.
There's many a son. I'm sure he's offed a couple of them in moments of rage. I waited. I bid my time. It was everything for this family. It's clear to me it is corrupt and must be burned. I'm gonna pass out again.
This boy is not safe here, especially not with this rage on him. I fear we both must leave this town.
The morning comes after you tend to Hector through the night. There's lots of more painful things that need to be done, but they're done. And with the splintered leg and a makeshift crutch, you feel at the very least that Timothy is that he could be moved now, because he's propel himself, albeit awkwardly.
Giannis, I think he can be moved, and I fear for our safety in this town. Do you know of any ways out of here that we might evade the eyes of the Gorso family?
Well, I suggest going at night. I mean, that much is obvious. As you know, the city is surrounded by a moat, and the bridge has been broken for many years. So there's the ferryman that you need to pay. I ask both of you, Mr. Hector and Mr. Timothy, to have any gold on you to pay the ferryman. He'll know that who you are, and he'll know that you're wanted.
I'm not as frugal as my other brothers, as might come a very great shock to you, but I'm one of the nicer ones. Not so frugal with my spendings.
Well,
I have no gold.
so you have
I
no
will-
gold? Does Hector have any gold on him?
No gold.
No
He
gold.
gave all the gold away.
Oh.
I have a small amount, but I should really put it back into the church. It's a pittance, but I'll give what I can. I have 15 gold on me.
Well, we'll see what that does. And night comes, and you start making your preparations to leave. For some reason, the bar is empty of patrons, and it's usually a bustling thing. And there's a line of ladies of the night on either side of you. They're almost creating a path for you to walk down between them. And they'll wait for you to leave.
I swear to everyone who can hear me that I will make this city better, my family noble once again.
As you pass down the line, the very first one says, Pastor Timothy, you're always kind to me. And she presses a gold piece into your hand and gives you a hug. Be safe.
Thank you, Rose. Rose, you've always been a ray of light in the church, and please keep that gold. I'm sure Matilda will need some schooling.
To pay the ferryman. If you die, I will never forgive myself. And she presses the gold in your coin and walks away. Next person in the line, another lady of the night. She does a similar thing. She gives you a hug, presses a coin into your hand, and thanks you for your kindness. And this repeats again and again and again until you have enough gold that you're sure the ferryman would accept.
Pastor Timothy is humbled and turns around and says, thank you very much. Like our friend here, Hector, has sworn to come back, I swear too, I will come back, and if it is in my power, I'll free this city from these bastards. And the big bastard himself.
Tears in the ladies of the night's eyes as they go about tending to children and getting ready to, start the evening rush, as it were. And you, under the cover of darkness, Pastor Timothy and Hector, you come to the ferryman. He's got a boat that will get you out of Gorso, and he charges you pretty much what the ladies of the night gave you. Whatever your starting gold is for your class, Pastor Timothy, that's what you have. That's what you're left with. The ferryman nods, puts you on his ferry, pulls a rope, pulls you across to the other side of the river, and without saying a word, turns and returns back to Gorso. So, the odd duo, shall we say, Pastor Timothy and Hector. You wander around not quite knowing where to go, and you eventually get lost. And Hector, you're getting worse and worse and worse as some type of infection is sitting in the arm. And out of sheer desperation, you see a cave, and there's some type of shimmering light in the cave up ahead. I will say at this point, Hector is almost delirious. He's not quite sure which way is up. But you see this cave ahead of you, Pastor Timothy. It will at least get you out of these thick woods that you're in, which have been nothing but thick thorns, brambles, hard which way to go, which has just made the situation worse. But you see this cave coming up ahead.
Right. Okay, well, I'm going to take Hector into the cave and try to make him comfortable, and then I'll go out and try to find herbs or some sort of like salve. Like I don't really have much knowledge of the natural magics, of the natural medicines, but I've got to find something to try and bring this fever down.
Just before that happens, you walk into this cave. It's kind of under a waterfall as well, which is kind of odd. So we got Hector. Oh, there we go. Wait, Hector. Yeah, and Pastor Timothy. Okay, so you walk into the cave a little bit. And with your passive perception of 13, Timothy, it's not really good enough. And you find yourself walking into this cave. And without actually bring you across to this map. And you walk straight into this massive jelly type substance. Do you see yourselves, Hector and Pastor Timothy?
No. It's all dark.
Hector.
Well, you'd be unconscious, that would be why.
Make sure. Set up Hector, right? Oh, this is because you're a human. I'll give you a very limited vision so you can see around you. You don't see anything because it's dark. But you should see just a little glow around here. Is that better, Riley?
Yep.
So, but what you see, Pastor Timothy, you both walk into, and this thing was semi-translucent. I'll take a picture of it so everybody else can see. And you get stuck, and you try pathetically to leave this thing, but it doesn't work. And I think that's where we'll end it for this week, year.
Mm-hmm.
Is it this year, or we still got? Oh yes,
It is.
now this year, last session of the year. But we'll be back on the 7th. We'll find out, and find out how Hector gets his octopus arm, or his tentacle arm.
Just point of order: did we get a long rest in the brothel, or are we still
yeah.
down? Yeah.
No one rests in a brothel, but yes, you did. Everybody can just assume the self can be long rested.
Satsuma?
Suma?
Oh no, you said assume, so I was like, Satsuma. I'm going to take a long rest.
Yep, everybody
Cool.
long rest. So Hector, Timothy, and everybody else. And hopefully we'll have Kyle back on the 7th.
Yeah, cool.
Otherwise, have a good Christmas break, wherever you celebrate the holiday seasons. And we'll see you in the new year.
Cool.
Take care,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Thank you very much, Malcolm, for this year. It's been
Yeah,
awesome.
thank you for this
All right.
year, and this campaign looks like fun, and he's gone. No, he's back.
Hey, just out of interest, what do you think of this individual mini sessions to start the campaign? Good, bad?
Oh,
Yeah.
quite
I like-
enjoyed the thing there. I just didn't know how much of whether I should have. I think you kind of fooled me into we were going to take a tour of the city, and on the walking tour we were going to talk about ourselves. So I was planning on reading that backstory thing as being the getting to know you thing.
Oh, well,
for
that's...
that.
Once we're finished with Hector and Timothy, obviously we'll do one for
Yep.
Kyle's character, and then you're all
Yep.
going to meet at the walking tour, and then
Yep.
we'll go from there. Because that's where you'll all meet up as a party. Otherwise, it's just silly. So
Okay.
that's the point where you'll meet up.
I like. I mean, we learned a lot about Torque in that like mini session of his,
Mhm.
and I like how when we do actually meet up, we can describe it like our in character. We can describe ourselves, but we don't necessarily have to describe ourselves as we really are. Like, I mean, all the players know more about the characters than maybe the characters want to give off. We don't have to like lay it all out in the first meeting. It's great.
Well, let me just say there are some. There is a lot more to all the characters as well than what's been given here.
Oh, yeah.
So there's stuff that Torque, I know about Torque, and Torque knows about Torque, but hasn't been revealed in this backstory. And I think that's true for most of you, if not all of you. So
Okay.